Have you ever heard of a wall so powerful it holds back an entire civilization of destruction? A wall built by a legendary king, which, when it finally falls, will signal one of the greatest events of the end times? This is the story of Dhul-Qarnain and the terrifying tribes of Yajuj and Majuj, also known as Gog and Magog. Long ago, Allah blessed a righteous king named Dhul-Qarnain with immense power, wisdom, and faith. He was a just ruler who traveled the earth, from the furthest west to the distant east, establishing justice and spreading the message of one true God. His journeys were not for conquest or glory, but to serve Allah and His creation. During one of these epic journeys, Dhul-Qarnain arrived in a land nestled between two enormous mountains. There he encountered a people who were terrified and desperate. They struggled to communicate, but their message was clear. "O Dhul-Qarnain," they pleaded, "Yajuj and Majuj are causing great corruption in our land. They destroy everything. They are a force of pure chaos. Can you build a barrier to protect us from their evil?" Who were these Yajuj and Majuj? The people described them as savage tribes, countless in number, who swarmed from the mountains like a plague. They were ruthless, burning crops, raiding villages, and showing no mercy. The people were utterly helpless against their relentless onslaught. They lived in constant fear, never knowing when the next attack would come. Moved by their suffering, Dhul-Qarnain, a true servant of Allah, agreed to help. He wasn't interested in the wealth they offered him as payment. He replied, "The power my Lord has given me is far better than any reward you can offer. But help me with your physical strength, and I will build a mighty barrier between you and them." So began one of the greatest construction projects in history. On Dhul-Qarnain's command, the people gathered massive blocks of iron. They worked together, hauling and stacking them into the gap between the two mountains, building it higher and higher until it reached the very peaks. When the structure of iron was complete, Dhul-Qarnain gave his next command. "Light a fire and blow on it until it becomes red-hot like fire itself." The people built enormous fires, heating the iron wall until it glowed with an intense, fiery red. Then he said, "Bring me molten copper, so I may pour it over the top." They brought vast quantities of copper, melted it down, and Dhul-Qarnain poured the shimmering liquid metal over the superheated iron. The molten copper flowed into every crack and crevice, fusing the iron blocks into a single solid mass. As it cooled, it formed a barrier so immense and smooth that it was impossible to climb over, and so strong that it was impossible to break through. The people were overjoyed. They were finally safe. They praised Dhul-Qarnain for his wisdom and strength, but the king, in his humility, pointed them towards the true source of this miracle. He said, "This is a mercy from my Lord. It is a temporary protection. But know this, when the promise of my Lord comes to pass, He will level this wall to the ground, and the promise of my Lord is always true." With that, Yajuj and Majuj were sealed behind the wall. But who are they really? According to tradition, they are human, descendants of Prophet Nuh, or Noah, from the line of his son Japheth. They are not mythical beasts, but a vast multitude of people, their numbers so great that they are compared to the ants of the earth. And they are not idle. Every single day since they were trapped, they dig at the base of the wall. They labor tirelessly, getting closer and closer to breaking through. At the end of each day, their leader tells them, "Go back. You can finish it tomorrow." But by the will of Allah, when they return the next morning, the wall is as strong and whole as it was before. This cycle will continue day after day, until Allah decrees it is time for their release. This will happen in the end times, after the return of Prophet Isa, or Jesus, son of Mary. After Isa defeats the Dajjal, the false Messiah, Allah will reveal to him, "I have now released servants of mine whom no one has the power to fight. So take my faithful servants and seek refuge on the mountain of Tur." At that moment, a small change will occur in the daily routine of Yajuj and Majuj. As they finish their day of digging, their leader will say, "Go back. Tomorrow you will finish it if Allah wills." Because of this small phrase, "if Allah wills," when they return the next day, they will find the hole exactly as they left it. They will finally break through. And then, the prophecy will be fulfilled. The Quran describes them swarming from every high place. They will pour out from behind the mountains like a devastating flood, a tidal wave of humanity covering the land. Their numbers will be so staggering that the first of them will pass by the Sea of Galilee and drink it completely dry. When the last of them pass by, they will say, "There was once water here." They will spread across the earth, devouring everything in their path, leaving nothing but ruin and desolation behind. Their corruption will reach its peak when, believing they have conquered the people of the earth, they will shoot their arrows into the sky, challenging the heavens. By Allah's will, the arrows will return to them, stained with what looks like blood, fooling them into believing they have even defeated the inhabitants of the heavens. During this time, Prophet Isa and the believers with him will be besieged on the mountain. Their situation will become dire, with food and supplies running out. In their moment of greatest need, they will turn to Allah and pray with all their hearts for deliverance. And Allah will answer their prayers. He will not send an army or a storm. He will send something small, almost insignificant, tiny worms or insects. These creatures will strike the necks of Yajuj and Majuj, and in a single night the entire terrifying horde will perish, their bodies falling to the ground as one. They will all be wiped out in an instant. The next morning, the believers will descend from the mountain, only to find the earth covered with the foul-smelling bodies of their enemies. The stench will be so overwhelming that they will pray to Allah again for relief. Allah will then send great birds, which will carry the bodies away, and then a heavy rain will fall, washing the entire earth clean, leaving it fresh and green. After the destruction of Yajuj and Majuj, a time of incredible peace, justice, and prosperity will begin under the leadership of Prophet Isa. Blessings will abound, and the world will live in harmony, worshiping Allah alone. The story of Dhul-Qarnain's wall and the eventual emergence of Yajuj and Majuj is a powerful reminder. It teaches us about the limits of human power and the absolute sovereignty of Allah. The wall, a marvel of engineering and strength, stands only by His permission and will fall only by His command. Somewhere on this earth, unseen by modern satellites, untouched by the passage of millennia, that barrier still stands, and behind it, a force of immense destruction waits. It's a sobering thought, but also a testament to the truth of the Quran and the prophecies it holds. It reminds us that Allah's plan is perfect. His timing is precise, and every word He has revealed will, without a doubt, come to pass. Thank you for joining me on this journey into one of the most fascinating stories from the Quran. If you found this as intriguing as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that explores the depths of faith and history. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and may peace be with you.